Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a chit chat get ready with me video. I am going to be using a brand new palette that I just got in the mail yesterday. This is the Dose of Colors Hidden Treasure palette. I did a whole feature of this on Snapchat, so a lot of you kind of saw my first initial reactions to this, which were amazing. I freaking adore this just right off the bat from swatching and just playing with the shades on my hands, but today I'm going to actually use it on my face. So if you are interested, then just stay tuned, and like I said, we're just going to do this kind of chit chat style. I haven't done one of these in a long time. All my recent tutorials have been voiceovers, so I hope you guys enjoy this format. I'm going to start by using the Urban Decay Complexion Prep Spray. The next thing I'm going to be doing here is applying some eye primer. I'm using the MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot. This has been my favorite go-to primer recently. And I just apply it with my finger. I think it applies nicely this way. I'm going to be taking a really large fluffy brush in any sort of a matte cream shade. This is one from Physicians Formula, but honestly for this you can use literally any color that's close to your skin tone, even your own face powder, and just messily slop this all over. If I look or seem a bit exhausted today, it's because I maybe got like 4 hours of sleep last night. I don't know why, but I've had the worst time sleeping recently, so I'm definitely feeling it. So we're really gonna have to make sure we like cake on the face makeup today. So now going into the Dose of Colors palette, I'm going to start by taking the shade called Map, which is kind of like a slightly cool light brown color. I think that this will work well as our transition, but I'm probably going to be slapping on like a bunch of these browns in my crease today. I'm taking this on a very, very fluffy blending brush. This is just going to be kind of our initial transition color, but I definitely want this look to be kind of warm, so I'm probably going to warm this up here in a second. So far, my initial reactions are this is definitely a very pigmented palette. The matte textures remind me of a less powdery version of the Lorac Pro colors. So if you have the Pro palettes, you know that they are very soft, super pigmented, but the Lorac ones can be quite powdery. These are still a little bit on the powdery side, but I don't think that that's necessarily bad. Just dropped my phone. But they definitely are less powdery than the Lorac Pro shades. But I think to honestly have like a nice smooth pigmented matte, you know, they have to have like a little bit of powderiness to them or else they just don't blend right. I'm then going to be switching over to a slightly more defined crease brush. This here is the large crease brush from Sonia Kashuk, and I'm going to be taking the shade called Locket, which again is a kind of light brown, but this is very, very orange toned, as you can tell. It kind of reminds me of like a slightly deeper version of MAC Soft Brown. But I'm just going to be taking this, just concentrating it a little bit more, not bring it as far up, but still from inner to outer corner. This color is less kind of powdery than Map was, so maybe it was just Map that kind of had that powdery finish, or slightly more. This one seems to be not stiff, but it definitely is not powdery, but it still blends and is very, very pigmented. I'm just really impressed with these matte shades. I think that they're great. Now I'm going to be going in with a smaller, more dense crease brush, and I'm going to be taking the shade called Key. This is a darker warm tone brown. And with this, I'm going to be patting this on the outer corner of my eye. And I'm also going to be patting it on the inner corner. I'm kind of going to do like a little bit of a halo smoky eye today. What I love so much about these particular matte shades, especially with this one, is while it is really dark, it builds up really nicely. So it's not that it's patchy, it's just not like super, super intense where, you know, sometimes, again, I don't know why I keep on comparing these to the Lorac ones, but maybe that's because those are some of my favorite matte eyeshadows to work with. But with those, you take a dark brown like this and it's like, whoa. I mean, you can easily start to get a kind of a, you know, beat up looking eye. Where with this, I feel like you have a lot more control. I think that they just build a lot nicer. I'm just gonna be switching to a slightly more fluffy brush here just because I kind of want to work on the blending process a little bit. So now for kind of like the main star of the show, I'm going to be using the shade here called Ruby. This just like, as soon as I saw this palette and it came to me, this is what sort of called my name. And so when I knew I was going to be getting ready with this palette, I had to use this shade. I'm just spraying my brush down. I just did it with a little bit of Max Fix Plus just because I really want this to show up and be really intense. But this particular formulation is kind of a different formulation. They have these shades here that are their foil shades. So you get 5 of them, yep. And then you get one kind of pearl shade, which is more of your traditional, slightly shimmery, satiny color, while these are a lot more metallic and shimmery. When I was swatching them on my Snapchat, I mean, they just swatch out already super beautiful, so I'm so excited to see what it looks like with the Fix Plus. Oh my goodness. Getting a tiny little bit of fallout, but that's okay. Honestly, the fallout for how like shimmery and metallic these colors are is pretty minimal. You know, try to whisk some of it away. And it cleans up really easily, so I'm not too mad at that. This side too, where I'm just a little bit more methodical about pressing the eyeshadow in, I'm getting less fallout, so that would definitely be a little tip that I would pass on to you guys. And I do think that wetting the brush obviously kind of helps a little bit too, kind of turns it into more of like a creamier consistency. These shades too, I mean really, like when you add, for me, just a little bit of this brown shadow, the edges blend out super nicely without that shimmer just transferring everywhere. I love doing this style of eye look, but sometimes the problem that I have is when I go back in to do this step, my little shimmer, you know, kind of particles and stuff, they transfer up all into my crease, and then they kind of ruin just the matte appearance of the look. So I kind of like that this doesn't do that. I don't want to warm the look up again, so I'm going to take Locket just one more time, that sort of orangey brown, on a fluffy blending brush and just kind of push a little bit more of this color up here. I must say that overall fallout from all this has been pretty minimal. I don't know what that was a little black speck. I think that, you know, if you are planning on using this, I think, especially with these shimmery shades, it's a good idea to do your foundation after, but I do that all the time anyway, so I don't really see that as a downside. For my liner today, I'm just going to be doing a very traditional gel eyeliner, and I'm probably going to dive into my uni here. I'm just going to be doing a basic wing. I hate that problem that I seem to have. It's like, oh, I'm just going to do, you know, just like a medium-sized, you know, little wing, and then my hand is like, nope, bitch, Amy Winehouse. Next, I'm just going to apply a little coat of mascara using the CoverGirl Plumpify Lash. I will be doing fake eyelashes today, but just a small coat of this to help blend. I will be coming back to the eyes, but for now I'm going to move on to foundation. I'm going to be using the Makeup Forever HD. This is in the shade N120. This is the old formulation. I really, really like this stuff, and the shade matches me perfectly. Having a pretty good skin day, so I'm going to try to maybe get away with just using a pump of this. I have been getting a little bit of sun. I've been good about wearing my SPF on my face, but my body is actually starting to tan a little bit, which is crazy. It like never happens. I decided I want more than this, so we're gonna go in with another little hop pump. Then I'm using my trusty Real Technique sponge to blend. This is a brand new one. It's crazy kind of how like stiff these can feel at first. Had a little bit of like dentistry work done, so this kind of hurts when I go around my mouth. I don't think I talked about what I'm getting ready for today. Today is Bryce's birthday, and we are going to go do some fun stuff. We're gonna go out for a little bit and have some really nice dinner and probably have some drinks and stuff, so I'm really excited. And I'm gonna go in with some concealer. This is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Concealer in the shade Y23. And I'm gonna be applying just a F-load of this to my under eye. Now I'm going to go in and do some spot concealing using my NYX Ultra, or not Ultra HD, this is just the regular HD concealer in the shade number 04. Guess I'm just going for that HD kind of look today. And now I'm going to go in and set my concealer using the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and I'm going to be taking the Banana shade. This is a new purchase for me. I've only used it, I think, once, so I'm kind of excited to use it a little bit more today. I'm also going to take a bit of this, just kind of go here through the forehead, sides of my face, chin area. Because why stop now with the HD roll? I'm going to take the Urban Decay Naked Skin Ultra Definition Pressed Powder in the shade Naked Medium Light, and my big old fluffy powder brush. And and run this everywhere. Now I'm gonna finish up my eyes just so I don't look absolutely crazy. I saw this picture on Instagram a little while back, and this lady kind of did a maroonish eye. It was a little bit different than this, but she kind of similar color schemes, except she did mint eyeliner, and so I think I'm gonna kind of play with that a little bit because, ooh, it'd match my nails, so that would be fun. And I don't know, I like adding pops of color and dropping my foundation, apparently too. But before we do that, I am gonna kind of just work on my lower lash line because I think I'm just gonna add it to my waterline, which is why I didn't apply any liner to my tight line. So for this, I'm basically gonna do a lot of what I did on the crease. So I'm just gonna take the shade called Locket, that warm brown. And I'm just gonna run this underneath my eye. And on a smaller brush, I'm going back to the key, which is the matte brown. I almost dipped into the matte black. That would have been interesting. One thing about this palette, even though it's cute, with the design, it's kind of like, you know, a treasure map or something. It kind of gets confusing. I know this sounds stupid, but when you're going in and out with your brush, I think you can kind of lose your place and lose the shadow that you're trying to find. So you almost reach into a matte black like I did. Because I do still want to make sure that I have some definition, I'm going to take a push liner brush in the shade called Onyx, which is the black, and just stamp this at my lash line. So for my mint eyeliner, you can see here I've done this before where I've mixed it in the cap here. These are two different ColourPop eyeliners. I have Maybe and Prance. They do have one that's like in between this that is a mint shade. However, I've tried to purchase it many times and it's always sold out. So I just bought the two colors, and what I do is I just mix them. So I just take, this is like a random pointed brush that I have, and I just kind of, it's kind of a little bit hard. So I just kind of pick up some of the blue shade like that. Go into the cap here and just kind of lay that down. And then I go into the green, take a bit of that, and I just kind of mix it until I get the shade I want. This is a lot more green than I want it to be. So then I'll go in with some blue. Basically just kind of do this until I get my perfect shade. Once I have my perfect color, I'm just gonna take this and apply it to my waterline. And ta-da! Just kind of a fun little something extra on that lower waterline. And then I'm gonna take the CoverGirl Clump Crusher Mascara and generously apply this to my lower lashes. Okay, I'm gonna finish up on my face and then go back and do the lashes. I know I kind of go all over the place when I do my makeup. I mainly like to do my lashes last just because I find that they stay on better if I'm not like contorting my face in all these weird shapes while I'm doing my makeup. But anyway, I'm gonna be taking the Luxie small contouring brush, going back into my Kat Von D palette. I'm gonna mix these two shades here. This one here is nice, but it's a little bit too taupey, so I kind of like to take the warm shade and just kind of play around with the two of them. And I'm just gonna do a really, really light amount of shading. I kind of want a little bit of a warmer color for my bronze, so I'm gonna use the IT Cosmetics CC Radiance Ombre Bronzer and pick up the bronzer part of it and apply some of these. Mainly focusing it kind of on my forehead. Bring it down into that contour slightly. For my blush, I'm going to be picking up Tarte's Captivating. This is a nice peach color. I kind of just want something nice and warm. Today for highlight, I'm going to be using the one and only Champagne Pop from Becca. I really don't care what anybody says. I love a little tip of the nose highlight, but never as much as I love a good Cupid's bow highlight. I'm gonna do my brows real fast using the Anastasia Brow Pomade in Soft Brown. I do need to film a brow tutorial. It's been on my list of things to film, so I will make sure I do that soon for you all. Before I set my brows with any powder, or excuse me, gel, I'm gonna be taking Pearl from the Just the Colors palette. Ooh, this is pigmented. And just do a little bit of highlighting with this. I want to use these. These are the Kiss True Volume Lashes in Ritzy. I kind of like that they sort of have like this like knotted kind of spacey effect going on. I think that it'll kind of play well with like the funky eyeliner and everything. Make sure I have my lash glue in sight. Okay, when you put your lashes on and you're just like, yes. Like this just makes it. While my lashes dry, I'm gonna work on my lips. I'm gonna be using the MAC Pro Longwear Lip Pencil in the shade Staunchly Stylish. And then I'm gonna be taking the ColourPop Ultra Satin Lip in the shade Echo Park. I think that this look will really do well with a nude lip. Alright guys, so that completes this long ass freaking get ready with me video. Seriously, my memory card is like, hurry up. I absolutely adore this look. I think that this is so much fun. I am so impressed with the Dose of Colors palette. I will be doing a review swatch video dedicated to this thing. I just want to use it a couple more times, see how the shadows wear, play with a couple of the different shades just to see what my overall thoughts are. But initially, I just love it. I mean, it blends so beautifully. I love that I can create a whole look and literally only use this palette. I think that that's fantastic. So far my initial reactions are very good, but definitely stay tuned in the future for that video. I hope that you guys really enjoyed this and that you like this look, and I hope you all have a fantastic day, night, wherever you are, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.